us now to make sense of all these developments is Senior Counsel Paul Hoffman, who is a director at Accountability Now. Advocate, thank you very much for your time. Can I start with what you have headlined the article you wrote on this, and you argue that the ANC's commitment to constitutionalism is questionable and will be severely tested in the months ahead. Give us your reasoning.
Yes, thank you for the opportunity, Collie, and good morning to your viewers. The situation in the ANC at the moment is becoming increasingly fraught. I think you can identify three groups. There's a group that believes in the Constitution. I think that Cosatu is certainly in that group, and a lot of the upper crust of the ANC. Then there's this group that is identified by, or identifies with, what Minister Sisulu said, which basically rubbishes the Constitution, would like to see it burnt, and is really quite happy to turn its back on the rule of law and Constitution, at the same time rubbishing the judges. And then there's a third group that seeks to bridge both parties. They pay lip service to the Constitution, but they believe in the National Democratic Revolution, which is the strategy and tactics document of the ANC, and they seek to embark upon what I call mission impossible, which is the idea of getting the Constitution to be consistent with the aims of the revolution. And one only has to look at what the revolution is about to see that it is not what the Constitution is about.
Yeah. Advocate, barring the insults towards judges, the argument by some is that there is absolutely nothing wrong with raising issues that affect society in general. And having premised this question with that, then, isn't there merit in what Lindiwe Sisulu has sought to raise?
Lindiwe Sisulu, when she took office as a cabinet member, swore an oath to uphold the Constitution. You do not uphold the Constitution by calling it a palliative and a panado for the population. If you want to rubbish the Constitution, if you want to exercise your freedom of speech to suggest that a new supreme law is overdue in South Africa, you resign from the cabinet, and you make your views known in your capacity as a citizen of South Africa. Now, she's tried to do that, but unfortunately for her, the position of National Cabinet Minister is not a part-time appointment that she can sort of, I write in my personal capacity, and thereby escape the consequences of not upholding the Constitution. In a functioning constitutional democracy, a cabinet minister who makes utterances of the kind that she has made against the Constitution, against the rule of law, and in respect of our judiciary or parts of it, either resigns or is fired straight away. And that hasn't happened because of the dysfunction in Luthuli House, and because of the three different strains of ANC alliance membership, which I've described as those who are for the Constitution, those who pretend to be for the Constitution, and those who are against the Constitution and eager to mount the National Democratic Revolution to overturn the Constitution and place this striving for hegemonic control of all the levers of power in society into the place of the tenets of the Constitution.
All right, so two questions in one, Advocate. What becomes society's role in keeping Lindiwe Sisulu in check for what you say in the article is blame shifting on her side? So that's question one. Question two, you speak about the mess that is at Luthuli House. Does the administration of President Cyril Ramaphosa at state level now run the risk of being in a credibility or having a credibility crisis, given that she remains a cabinet minister?
Yes, certainly. Dealing with the first question first, society's role occurs not only at the ballot box, but also in the constant exacting of accountability. So what should be happening, certainly in respect of what she said about African judges, is that she should be charged with scandalizing the courts and with contempt of court for her unrepentant utterances. As far as the mess at Luthuli House is concerned, somebody has got to get to grips with the fact that the National Democratic Revolution has too many characteristics that are incompatible with the Constitution. And either the ANC must abandon the Constitution or it must abandon the National Democratic Revolution. I suspect that that debate is happening among those who can see that the stance of Sisulu is really tearing the ANC apart into those three categories.
Final question, Advocate Hoffman, and it is a question that the President actually raised or touched on, that the divisions within the ANC have the potential, if not already, they are threatening the stability of South Africa's democracy. What should be the preoccupation of the South African population, therefore, when something like this is said by the head of state, that his governing party and the divisions there are threatening the stability of the functioning of the state, of the government of South Africa? I just can't get over those statements, and it's something that I asked of the head of the presidency within the ANC, by the way, yesterday, Sibongile Besane, and he sought to give an assurance that while the ANC goes to conference towards the end of this year, government is and will function as it should.
Yes, there is the distinction between party and state, a distinction that is often lost sight of in South Africa. There is a tendency, certainly among those who support the National Democratic Revolution, to conflate the party and the state. And if you conflate the party and the state and regard the ANC as the state, then there is a problem. But remember, this is a country of 60 million people, and only about 1 million of them are members of the ANC. We saw, when there was insurrection in July last year, that civil society, neighborhood watches, taxi associations, all manner of people were able to bring an end to the insurrection without too much help from government. So the resilience of South Africa, and I would suggest the commitment of the overwhelming majority of its people to the Constitution, will prevail over the hiccups and the dyspepsia that we have in the Luthuli House at the moment. They must sort out who they are and what they're doing. If they're serious about the Constitution, they should say so. If they're trying to get the Constitution and the revolution to mesh, they can't. It doesn't work. And if they want a revolution, well, call a referendum and see how many people in South Africa would be in favor of a revolution rather than of the constitutional order that is, at least on paper, in place at the moment.
Advocate Paul Hoffman, thank you very much for your time.